अगले कुछ दिनों में एक और धमाका शहर में होने वाला था। मुख्यमंत्री कॉनराड संगमा का सनसनीखेज खुलासा। शिलांग, मेघालय के पूर्वी खासी पर्वतीय जिले में शुक्रवार को तड़के पुलिस के साथ मुठभेड़ में एक एचएनएलसी उग्रवादी मारा गया जिसने पूर्व में आत्मसमर्पण किया था। इस मुठभेड़ को लेकर मेघालय पुलिस के ऊपर राज्य के सभी संगठनों ने फर्जी मुठभेड़ को अंजाम देने का आरोप लगाया। इसी बीच शनिवार शाम को मुख्यमंत्री कॉनराड संगमा ने एक संवाददाता बैठक बुलाकर इस मामले पर सरकार का पक्ष रखा। इस दौरान मुख्यमंत्री ने एक सनसनीखेज खुलासा करते हुए बताया कि सिलसिलेवार बम धमाके की श्रृंखला में अगले कुछ दिनों में एक और धमाका शहर में होने वाला था जिसकी खतरनाक योजना बनाई गई थी। मुख्यमंत्री ने आगे बताया कि पिछले महीने पूर्वी जयंतिया हिल्स के खेलरी पुलिस रिजर्व में आईईडी ब्लास्ट के सिलसिले में पुलिस ने कई लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया और इसकी जांच अभी चल ही रही थी। इसी बीच 10 अगस्त को लेतुखरा बाजार के एक भीड़-भाड़ वाले इलाके में एक आईईडी ब्लास्ट हो गया। इन दोनों धमाकों में पुलिस और सुरक्षा एजेंसियों को आत्मसमर्पण कर चुके एचएनएलसी के पूर्व महासचिव चेरिस्टिफाइड थंगक्यू की संलिप्तता का पता चला। इसके अलावा यह भी पता चला कि इन धमाकों के अलावा कुछ और धमाके शहर में होने वाले हैं जिसके फलस्वरूप पुलिस ने थंगक्यू को गिरफ्तार करने की योजना बनाई। साथ ही संगमा ने बताया कि पुलिस का इरादा थंगक्यू को केवल गिरफ्तार करना था, न कि उसे किसी तरह का नुकसान पहुंचाने की, परंतु हालातों के वजह से थंगक्यू मारा गया। वहीं मुख्यमंत्री ने बताया कि इस मुठभेड़ को लेकर राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार आयोग ने सवाल किया है जिसका जवाब दिया जाएगा। साथ ही मुख्यमंत्री ने लोगों को शांति बने रखने की अपील की।
I have just returned from Delhi and immediately on my arrival from Delhi, I had a meeting with our DG, ADG and ADG Law and Order regarding the recent incidents that took place in Shillong. You are all aware that in the last few weeks there have been a number of incidents where certain locations IED bombs were planted in East Chantia Hills as well as in Shillong, where the incident that took place in Shillong, certain individuals were also injured. After the incidents that took place in East Chantia Hills, inquiry had started into individuals who were involved in this, and the police had made all-out efforts to find the people involved and take appropriate steps to ensure that these don't happen in the future. But in the process, many people were arrested. And while that happened, again on 10th of August, we had an incident in Laimukra, in a very, very busy market area or locality, where a blast took place. After that blast took place, the police had intensified the investigations that were taking place. After going into a large amount of information and doing detailed investigation, the police had found credible and tangible evidence of involvement of large number of people, including the individual who died a few days back. Based on this credible information, the police had made their strategy on how to move forward. In the meantime, from multiple agencies, we received credible information that another attempt was going to be made in the next few days in Shillong. And this is not just our agencies, but other agencies also. Once those agencies and our own information and intel gave us the threat of another attempt, which would then definitely risk the lives of the citizens of our state, the police decided to move swiftly in order to ensure that no other incidents take place in Shillong or any other part of the state. And in the process, they moved forward to make an arrest. It was never the intention of the police to harm any individual. But in the process, if the arrest was made, it would rather be in the interest of the police department, as they would be able to get more credible information on other networks that possibly are there. But as you're aware, that the circumstances led to the unfortunate incident that happened a few days back. The SP has submitted the report, which is as per mandated by the National Human Rights Commission, within 48 hours. After this report is submitted, there will be a magisterial inquiry, which also is under process, and that report will be submitted. And based on that, the National Human Rights Commission will look into the matter and inquire the matter. I felt that it is important at this point in time that we appeal to everybody that at this point in time we must maintain peace in Shillong city and in the state as a whole. Whatever the police or whatever the government is doing is in the interest of the safety of the citizens of the state. And therefore, once again, I appeal to everybody that we must maintain law and order and we must maintain peace in the state and in Shillong city. So I am open to questions if you have any. Thank you very much. I don't have that report with me. It's been given to the Human Rights Commission. So I guess the procedure will be followed. But that report is not there with me as of now. As I said, I came back. So I had this initial meeting, but I felt it necessary that I must meet the press. It will be done by the government. And then after that, the inquiry, as I said, once it's done, it will be submitted to the National Human Rights Commission, which will then further take up the matter at their level. This commission is an independent and autonomous body, and the reports and the inquiry that we submit are only the facts that we submit to them. So the National Human Rights Commission is the appropriate body to look into this, and they are very much autonomous. Once they submit their report, we can decide on how to move forward. But the procedure requires us to submit the reports to the National Human Rights Commission. In which particular? You mean to say the overall operation from the day one on that particular night? There was no particular lapse as such. As I said, these are situations that are there, and what happened was unfortunate. But the intention, as I said, was to clearly arrest and the person involved, and because that would then lead to more information that would have come in. So it would be in the interest of the police and the agencies. So therefore, there was no intention in that line, and it was clearly. So therefore, that's what happened. As I gave in my opening remarks to everybody, that the police had made a strategy to move in a certain way. But then when the intel came to the police from their own agencies and from other agencies also, that there is going to be another attempt to put up another IED and a bomb blast in Shillong in a certain location. The information also is there with us, but we don't feel appropriate to share. The police felt that they need to move swiftly. Otherwise, lives could be lost at that point in time in things. So therefore, in the process, while they moved swiftly, the intention was to arrest the concerned person, and as I said, enough credible information was there on the involvement. A lot of evidence is there, which again is not possible for me to share because the investigation is still going on. And so that credible information, based on that, the move was made. And as I said, the intention was to arrest the person, but the unfortunate incident that happened.
So when the police asked this such so much evidence, why do you have taken so long time to arrest him, to wait till another task is happening in Shillong?
Again, it's not appropriate for me to enter into the investigation aspect of how the police would function. But all I can say is that in investigations like these, timing is important. If the leads are broken before the actual information comes out, then you don't get the desired result that you're looking at. So without going further into details of that timing was critical for us. So therefore the police made a decision based on that to watch the movements and then gather more evidence and information. That's all I can say. It would not be appropriate, as I said, to go further into details. But then when the credible information came that on a certain date, in a certain location, there would be another blast, that is when the police had to swiftly move to avoid the second incident in Shillong. That's a tactical move which the police have done. It's something that it will not be possible for me to go into the tactical side of how the police would operate because, as I said, they have their own way of moving forward. So that's not something that we normally interfere or go into all those aspects. But as I said, the intention was very clear, was to arrest because of the evidences and the threat that was there to the people.
So when we see the mood of the public in group chats on social media, we see that it's not a healthy mood. So, and there have been many demands by the resignation of the Home Minister. How is the government going to respond to this? How is the government going to calm the mood?
That's what we are appealing to everybody, that whatever the police and the government has done has been in order to ensure that the people are safe. When we get information that another blast is going to take place, and that too, as I said, not just from our own intelligence agencies, but from other agencies also, then, and the same date and the same location, then obviously we have to act swiftly in the interest of safeguarding our people. So this was done purely on basis of ensuring that the people of Shillong are safe. And as I said, the intention was very clear, was to arrest. But as I said, again, I'm repeating that unfortunate incident happened. And that is the reason why I am appealing to citizens of Shillong and of the state that we must maintain peace and we must ensure that we keep the peace of the city and of the state in mind and ensure that and realize also, as I said, that the police, whatever actions they have taken, and as I said, whatever happened was unfortunate, but whatever other actions that they took and how they move forward was in the interest of safeguarding the people of the state.
How are things looking right now?
Sorry?
How are things looking right now?
That's a very vague question.
Has it been neutralized? The threat perception, sir. Because you said that they were very
Yeah, from that angle, of course, we have to keep, working on this. All the intelligence we're collecting, and we're moving forward in every way possible, collecting information as much as possible. But yes, the police is on alert, on very high alert, and ensuring that the peace and tranquility is there in the state and law and order is maintained. Can I have last question? Yeah.
If you can give us an update on the investigation aspect of the bomb blast in Anchor and how many people have been arrested?
that detail is not available with me. And so, sir.
One person has been arrested.
Okay.
Rest is matter of investigations.
Okay. So the DJ just told me that one person from the Laimukra blast case, one person has been arrested, and the other matters are still under investigation.
Going into the merits and demerits of this case, how it was handled, but we already see a section of people sympathizing with the incident. Do you think this incident would be counterproductive for in your effort to fight militancy in the state?
See, when we keep the overall agenda in front of us to ensure that our people are safe, we do it with the utmost sincerity and commitment. And as I said, in the process, it is never the intention of the government to, or the police, to just simply, harm anybody. But as I said, that the intention was very clear in this, but it's unfortunate that it led to the incident that happened. But the intention was very clear, was to arrest the person. So therefore, this incident is something that I've been repeating again, is unfortunate. But it's something that happened in a situation, in the circumstances that were there. But the effort of the government and of the police will continue to ensure that anybody who tries to disrupt the peace of this thing, we will have to move forward, and the police will have to work out on how we can stop that. So therefore, the police has always been working with the intention of keeping our public and the people at large in the state safe. So that's what it was. But while we do that, the police always makes sure that nobody is harmed unintentionally. So that has always been the way the police works, and we as a government also have endorsed that, and that's how we would like to move forward in any situation. No, as I said, I've been very clear that the intention was very, very different. The intention was to arrest the concerned person, and unfortunately, it led to a different circumstance, a different situation. And therefore, it would have been more beneficial for the overall department and the police, because then more information would be available, more networks would come out, and the investigation process would be strengthened if we were able to have arrested the concerned person. So therefore, what happened is something that, as I said, is very unfortunate.
Sir, can you tell us what are these incredible evidences
I have the list with me, and in fact, we have gone through it also, and I have seen the kind of evidence that is there. So, and a lot of other people have also seen it. The problem is that since the investigations are on, I have been asked by the police and the agencies to not disclose that, because it would affect the full investigation process, and then obviously others who are involved would know. So therefore, in the interest of the investigation, I would like to request, if I'm not forced to give that detail, but we know the details and we've seen, and it's very much credible and in full detail that is there. Very tangible, I should say. The correct word would be tangible and credible information. Thank you. We have maintained from day one that that Meghalaya government also wants peace and is open to talks with any of the organizations that would like to come and talk to us. But we have always maintained that it must be within the constitutional framework of the country. They must shun violence, and it must be an unconditional talk. So therefore, one cannot come forward, with conditions to the talks. So when we talk, we can discuss things. But before you come to the talks itself, if you come with conditions, then that is something that is not acceptable. So we are agreeable, but as I said, must shun violence, must come without conditions, and must be within the framework of the constitution of the country. So that's our stand, and that's still our stand right now also.
Have you received any letter from the HNLC department?
Yes, we had received a letter. I don't have the exact date with me. 16 of January 21. So you knew it, but anyway. So we have received. After the letter was received, we have discussed multiple times within the government, within Meghalaya government, about the letter. And without naming individuals, even in Government of India level, 2 discussions took place at an official level. 2 discussions took place with Government of India also regarding the letter that was sent by the HNLC. Based on that, the Government of India has mentioned that some of the conditions that they put in are not acceptable to Government of India, and therefore they must submit another letter without those conditions, and those conditions are the standstill agreement, and second is the instrument of accession. So these 2 should not be there, and this was communicated to them. And after the communication, we were told that they will submit a letter without those conditions and remove all the other conditions and move in the line which we have prescribed, that it should be in the constitutional framework, it should be under without any conditions, and it should be shunning of violence. So all that was discussed. But in the meantime, that letter did not come. And in the meantime, the different incidents started taking place in Jaintia Hills. So therefore, at one side, we were receiving this communication, but at one side, the violence was continuing in Jaintia Hills. So therefore, it was not clear as to what really was the intention at that point in time. So therefore, that is what happened, and that process was on while these incidents that took place. So therefore, there were channels, and of course, as I said, without going into details of the individuals, so there were channels that were there, and this information was coming in, and we were being told that, as I said, a new letter will come with all the other information, with another appeal, without the other terms and conditions, but as I said, that particular letter never came. So, thank you.